In the rugged heart of Colorado, 1885, strangers sometimes drifted into town like they had always belonged. But Eliza Marsh stood out on the front steps of the Clearfield Hotel that Tuesday afternoon in October. With only a worn leather bag at her side and a weary expression etched across her face. She looked like a woman who had exhausted every option yet refused to surrender. Her hair slipped from its pins and her beige linen dress bore the marks of long travel. She had journeyed from Tennessee chasing her uncle's promise of a fresh start in the West. His letter had urged her to come build a life worth living. She sold everything, packed her bag, and boarded the train, only to learn upon arrival that he had passed from pneumonia 2 weeks earlier, leaving behind an unfiled claim and a small debt. With no home to return to and nothing waiting back east, Eliza sat there calculating a future that seemed to have run out of possibilities. It was then that a boy around 9 years old stopped right in front of her, staring with the bold innocence of childhood. "Why are you sad?" he asked. Before she could reply, a deep voice called out, "Owen!" She looked up to see a tall, dark-haired man with gray touching his temples. He wore a dark waistcoat over a linen shirt with sleeves rolled to his elbows, the mark of someone accustomed to hard outdoor work. Holding a list and a package from the general store, he gave the boy a familiar, patient look that spoke of years of gentle guidance. "People are allowed to be sad," the man said. "It's not our business." But the boy insisted, "We could make it our business." Nearby, a younger girl with a dark braid watched silently, her gaze steady and observant. Eliza met them with quiet resolve. "I'm all right," she said, though it was far from true. The man introduced himself as Daniel Holt, with his children Owen and Lucy. Learning she was from Tennessee and had lost her uncle, his expression softened with genuine understanding, the kind born from his own losses. He asked if she had a place to stay, and she admitted she was figuring it out. That afternoon, she searched for work without success until the laundry offered a slim hope for the coming week. Back in her room with just a few dollars left, a knock came at the door. "Young I." Owen stood there with a covered dish of stew his father had made, saying she probably hadn't eaten. Daniel waited farther down the hall, giving them space. The boy's innocent words about his father's lingering grief after losing their mother touched her deeply. She accepted the meal with quiet gratitude. The next days blurred as she stretched her limited funds. When extra nights at the hotel were mysteriously paid, she confronted Daniel at the feed store. "You didn't have to do that," she told him. He simply replied that he knew, respecting her determination to repay him. She started at the laundry, working hard through the heat, proving her capability. On Saturday, Daniel and the children stopped by, though the laundry was not on their usual path. Owen shared that Lucy had asked at breakfast if the lady from Tennessee would stay, and Daniel had spoken with quiet hope. The following Sunday at church, Lucy finally spoke to Eliza, asking if she knew how to braid hair since her father tried but struggled. Eliza offered to show her, and that afternoon on the hotel porch, she braided the girl's hair while Owen chattered about the ranch. Horses, and Daniel listened attentively from his chair. As they left, the children's warmth and Daniel's silent regard stirred something long dormant in her, a sense of belonging. Wild West Tale Stories brings you these tales of frontier hearts. As the week unfolded, Owen invited Eliza to supper at the ranch, leading to a warm evening where Daniel cooked simply yet skillfully. The house was solid, but carried the quiet ache of a home managed by a widower. After the children went to bed, Daniel spoke directly. He asked how long she planned to stay in Clearfield, then confessed he had a serious question he wasn't ready to ask yet, but needed her to remain. The next Saturday, he showed her the ranch, the pastures, fences, barn, and the neglected kitchen garden his late wife had planted. Sitting on the porch, he proposed not mere help, but a real family, a permanent life together. He assured her she could refuse without changing their friendship. Eliza promised to think on it, moved by his honesty and the way he revealed his vulnerabilities. The following Monday brought complication in the form of Ned Hargrove, a prosperous, recently widowed feed supplier who approached Eliza at the laundry with confident charm. He invited her to a social event, and Mrs. Pierce later praised him as a solid choice who would provide security. Yet the town whispered that Daniel Holt seemed too set in his ways for another marriage, content to raise his children alone on the ranch. Eliza weighed her options carefully through the week. Ned represented safety and ease, but Daniel offered something deeper, a shared strength seen in small acts like stew delivered by a boy, a paid hotel stay without fanfare, and a dead garden shown as quiet confession. The practical path favored stability at the laundry over uncertainty, but her heart questioned if safe equaled right. She had held families together since losing her mother young, always the steady one, yet never held in return. Fear of wanting too much had kept her guarded. On Thursday, returning a book to the ranch, Lucy asked bluntly if she would stay. The girl noted that her father seemed less burdened when Eliza was near. Those words from a child crystallized everything. The true question was not fear of the wrong choice, but whether she wanted to build a life together instead of alone. The answer had waited inside her for years. Friday morning, abandoning her laundry route, Eliza sought Daniel at the north fence. She told him she wanted to say yes, but first clarified it was not from desperation. She had other paths, including Ned's offer, yet chose him for the horse's stories, the braids, the garden, and the man himself. Daniel shared how he had nearly walked past her on the hotel steps that first day, but turned back inspired by memories of meeting his late wife and the near miss that changed everything. Owen had unknowingly given him a second chance. With quiet certainty, Eliza said yes completely. They married in December at the Clearfield church. Owen beamed with undisguised joy, while Lucy stood proudly with the ribbon Eliza had given her. Daniel watched his bride approach, reflecting on that pivotal Tuesday and a boy's bold question. Practical life began in January as Eliza learned the ranch rhythms, the fences, cattle patterns, and pastures. She attuned to the children's unspoken household rules formed over 2 years of quiet survival. The house transformed under her care, filling with warmth that had been missing. Daniel's steady presence complemented her strength, and together they mended more than fences. Owen's energy found guidance, and Lucy blossomed under patient teaching. Evenings brought shared stories and laughter, healing old griefs. The community watched as the family grew closer, proving that frontier hearts could forge new bonds amid the mountain's vast silence. Challenges came with seasons, dry spells, hard labors, but their commitment deepened with each shared sunrise. Eliza found purpose not in mere survival, but in belonging, while Daniel rediscovered joy in partnership. Their love, born from chance and courage, rooted firmly in Colorado soil. As months turned to seasons on the Holt Ranch, Eliza fully embraced her role, bringing order and tenderness to daily routines. The kitchen garden revived under her hands, blooming as a symbol of renewal much like their family. Owen thrived with stories of horses now shared with a listening stepmother, his invitations no longer needed as everyone settled into natural harmony. Lucy's braids became a morning ritual, strengthening their quiet bond of trust and affection. Daniel worked the land with renewed vigor, his gray temples a mark of experience that now included hope. He often paused in the fields, watching his wife and children with the deep satisfaction of a man who had risked honesty and found treasure. Winters tested them with isolation and chores, yet fireside conversations wove their pasts into a shared future. By spring, the ranch prospered not just in cattle but in the laughter echoing through the solid house. Neighbors in Clearfield remarked on the change, Mrs. Pierce nodding approvingly at the laundry when Eliza occasionally helped. Ned Hargrove offered respectful congratulations, recognizing a match built on more than convenience. The Reverend Cole spoke of their union as an example of frontier grace during services. Through it all, Eliza and Daniel moved in quiet partnership, understanding each other's silences and strengths. Owen and Lucy no longer carried the weight of their father's grief alone. Instead, they gained a mother figure who taught resilience and joy. The dead garden of old became vibrant flowers, mirroring how loss had given way to life. Evenings on the porch held coffee cups turned thoughtfully, conversations flowing easily where once there had been careful distance. Daniel often recalled the hotel, Steps in that boy's direct gaze, grateful for the interruption that led to everything. Years later, the family stood stronger, the ranch a testament to choices made in vulnerability and courage. Eliza never regretted saying yes, knowing it came from the heart, not necessity. Daniel cherished the woman who saw beyond his settled ways to the man ready for more. Their story spread softly through the West, inspiring tales of second chances amid dusty trails and mountain vistas. In Clearfield, Colorado, love proved as enduring as the land itself. If you enjoyed this frontier romance of hope and new beginnings from Wild West Tales stories, please subscribe for more heartfelt Western adventures. Like and share to support us bringing these timeless tales to life. Your support keeps the spirit of the Wild West alive